Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on the Hagenstedt map. Let's get back to reliving the glory days. And that puts bushes into it, so we don't want bushes either. We want to get rid of those. That's the gravel, which we don't want. We don't want the stone. Mud, stone, stone. This is the texture that I'm after. I want to go like that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring that out a little tiny bit like that and get rid of that grass. There, like that, and then I'm going to go up there a little bit, and that's done in there. That's perfect. And now I've got a slightly rounded corner there, which does actually fit the edge of a field like that. I'm quite happy with that. I think that's quite good. So now I can run back along here, and I'll get it straightened up, and then I can drop the plow in over here a little bit further. There we go. Drop the plow in there, and that will just get that little bit where we made the error just pulling out on there, and then we can go across into this new bit that we've just gone and created out over here, and that is a lot more like it. Now, going to end up wanting to go over a bit. Probably as far as we need to go at the moment. I'm just going to back up like that, and then I'll do another pass just on this same track like this. Get my tractor lined up, my plow lined up. Bring you back. I don't want to go back any further than that. If it doesn't quite get the field, then we can do it from the other way, but it has got the field, so it's fine. And drag you along over here, and then we'll start doing the long runs. A double pass here with the plow. That should be enough. And then we can start working the long runs so that we can see just how far over it is that we want to get. Because I'm not entirely sure at the moment how far over we're going to end up with that. I won't go any further than there. Next, I need to go in here and rotate it 90 degrees again. Like that. There. And then that's going to bring me round. Yeah, if you want, we want to bring you over here like this. So you're going to go there. Now, the plow is actually wanting to go that way. For realism, we do, like, that's going to bug me. So I'm going to flip that around 90 degrees like this. So then I've got that in the right way. So that my offset is facing the right way. Because the plow needs to be rotated. The plow's got to be facing the other way in order for this to work properly. That's not the correct way to have the plow. That's the correct way to have the plow, so that we're turning the furrow into the stuff that we've already been over. Now, I've also got to just alter that a little bit. So that's got to come back. That'll do right there, I think. We'll run it right on there for now, and bring you up like that. On a little bit further. I don't want to be sticking the tail end of the plow out into the land down that side. And then we can do our pass up across the field. So we're going to have to do probably 4 or 5 passes of the field here. This one's going to be a little bit longer to complete than others have been. You know, I've just realized that we're running in dollars. We're not in dollary dues here. We are in euro dues. There we go. There's our euro dues. So let's carry on with that. See, I'm getting that delay again. I always used to get that when I come out of that screen. I think it's to do with add-ons. I'm sure it's to do with mods. Different mods, and that's what causes that slight delay when I go out of that screen. It's only that screen in Farming Simulator. It's never any others. But I had it previously, and then I changed my computer, and it stopped happening, but now it's happening again. I think it's to do with mods working one way or another. I don't quite know how it's doing it or why it's doing it, but it does seem to. Anyway, that there, I was going to say, I thought that was thistles. Like, we've got poppies over here. That's poppies right there. This here is cow's parsley. This here is, you know, I don't know what that one is. This one here, cow's parsley, I think hogweed, some people, it's called. Giant version of this is the one that's got the sap. I mean, if this is the one that is cow's parsley or hogweed, if you get the sap on your arms and then you get a load of sunlight directly onto your arms, like through the sap, it will bleach your skin a little bit. you get some small blisters to start with, and then you get a bleach. So I got a few bleach spots on my arms from using strimmers cutting this stuff. You should always have a long sleeve shirt if you're cutting weeds like this. But the giant hogweed, that's stuff that's like really nasty. That'll leave your skin really, really horribly blistered. It's really nasty stuff. But giant hogweed's easy to detect because it's taller than the tractor. It's like 3 meters tall. That's a patch of thistles right there. I don't know what this one is. I failed here, I feel, but I don't know what that pink one is, and I don't know what this one is here, either. So there's two... Wait a minute. That's not dock leaves, is it? Is that docks that have gone to seed? That might be. That might actually... No, I don't know. No, maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what that one is, and I'm not entirely sure what the pink one is. And this one down here... That does actually look like docks. That looks like docks down there, the big one on the ground. So what's the pink one and what's the other one? Does anybody know? I'm curious now. I don't know what those weeds are, and it's going to bug me. They look like the weeds that I've just listed off. Now, I don't know if you get those in the States, in the US. I don't know if you get different ones over there, but there's definitely... They look like... certainly ones you get a lot of in the UK. I'm assuming that I always assume that whatever weeds and that we get growing wild in the UK are also found throughout mainland Europe, because there's very, very little in the way of plant life that is unique to the UK that you don't find on the continent. That is quite an unusual thing. We've had so much sort of mixture, and there's only like a couple of miles between us at the narrowest point. So, yeah, it is kind of odd that we would have any plants that grow here that you don't find in mainland Europe. Because, you know, birds that pick up the seeds, they drag it across the channel, and then it's spread, isn't it? So, that bit, I would assume that you would find through Europe. All of those plants, if they're found here in the UK. Over in the States, that's a different matter. There's a much bigger puddle of water between us and the US and Canada. I say the States, but I do mean Canada as well. And well, now I'm being continentist. Is that you can be racist, and you can be ageist, and you can be all sorts of ists. And now I'm being continentist because I've left out the whole of Latin America as well. So you've got South America and you've got North America, and all of the countries contained therein. It's not just the US and Canada. I always assume that we don't necessarily have the same plants on our respective continents. I do assume that we have some of the same plants here that we have in Africa, because we've got land, like, between us all the way down to all of the African countries. The only difference being is temperature, really. Yes, the temperatures, the climates and everything, it does mean that there are some vastly different plants between us, but I think it's more to do with the climate rather than the distance between us. Whereas between us and the Americas, it's more to do, I think, with the distance between us than it is to do with the climates, because we've got very similar climates in places. I mean, some parts of the US and Canada are much colder than here in the UK, and some parts are much hotter. But if you look out across the whole of Europe, we have matching climates. There are places in Europe that match northern Canada, and there are places in Europe that match Texas and California and Florida and so on. So yeah, we've got the matching climates. It's just the sheer distance between us has led to altogether different things growing up, like poison ivy, for example. You got poison ivy in the US, and it's a big thing. Like, I've watched videos of, there's one guy called Let's Dig, or Let's Dig 18, or whatever he's called. I can't remember. I think there's a number on the end of it. He does loads of construction work. He runs a construction company, so there's loads of construction work, and I quite like his videos to chill out to sometimes. And it's very often when he's clearing a construction site ready for a new building of some kind, they talk about poison ivy, and he talks about poison ivy and how he's quite allergic to it, and it's really bad and so on. And the comments is like people are, oh, I see all the poison ivy there. Everybody automatically recognizes poison ivy. If you live in the US, it seems that recognizing poison ivy is ingrained into you. I wouldn't know what poison ivy was if it jumped up and bit me on the backside. I wouldn't have a clue. Absolutely no idea. I've never seen poison ivy. I've never laid eyes on it in my life, and I'm not likely to unless I go to the US. We don't have poison ivy here. There is no such thing as poison ivy, at least not the stuff that is apparently like really itchy and bad for you and so on. That's not something that we get. We have got ivy. We have got various types of ivy, but no, it's not the poison ivy that you get in the US. I don't know. I absolutely have no clue. I cannot say this with confidence one way or another. If poison ivy exists over on mainland Europe or not. I have absolutely no idea. I don't think it does, but it might. So on that front, not a clue. Have absolutely no idea. It could do, it might not do. I really don't know. I'm looking down through there and I'm thinking that patch of stone is possibly a little bit too big. I don't know. I think one more pass up through here with the plough will be enough. I don't want to go any further than that because we're going to start going up the hill too much, and that's going to cause problems with the combine. It'll start grounding out too much on the upward curve of the edge of the slope, and that's always a problem for combines. It is always a difficult bit for it, is the upward curve of the slope, and that should actually, one more pass, should work out quite nicely with the line that we've got ploughed up here as well. It doesn't matter if it's slightly rounded on the corner, that will be just fine. I've already pushed this field up further than I originally intended to anyway. I didn't originally intend to go all the way up through here, but then I kind of got a little bit carried away, and I thought, you know what, I'm having fun, let's do this. Let's do this thing, let's make it happen. And so I did, and this is what we've wound up with. So I think this will be the final pass now. We'll put this one in here. I'm going to drop the plough in there, and I'm going to do it from this angle so that I don't have a perfectly square corner. It's going to be a rounded corner on this one. I'm going to come up like that. A little bit more there. That'll do. And then I will go this way, and now I will turn the plough over. So yeah, a slightly rounded corner right on there. That's going to work out quite nice. And then I'll go back up through this way and engage the tractor again. It should, in theory, drop that plough down exactly the same line as it has already got. Yes, excellent. So we're going to be left with this slight little strip where the edge of the road used to be, but it's so minimal as to not make any real difference. We have got a rough spot right there, unfortunately. That's just from where we were doing the forming of the fields. And there are a couple of patches here, by the look of it, as we come down through, where we've got some slightly uneven ground running along the edge of this. But again, I don't think it's so much that it's going to cause us problems. The only bit that I don't particularly like is the fact that that bit of stone is not all going to disappear. It would be nice, but yeah, unfortunately we've got a little tiny bit just left there on the edge. It's not enough that it's going to make it look unsightly, though. I think that'll be fine. And now we've got this slightly raised patch here, and this is the bit that our combines may struggle with in the future. So this is the bit that we may end up having to come back and do a little bit more work with. It's a bit uneven there, but again, it's not so bad as to cause us any major problems. Now, the final thing that I have to do is just tidy up that. And again, I'm happy with a rounded corner on there. Because, let's be honest, you don't normally get perfectly square fields, and the time it takes to set up a perfectly square field using this is a rather long time, so we won't worry about that. Let's straighten you out a second, and I'll bring you over to there. The plough was already facing the right way, so I can put you over like this. That, I think, is gonna be alright. We can put you down there. I'm actually gonna back you up a little bit and go to there, like that. That's where the edge of our field is going to be, and that's has ploughed that line in quite nicely. Now, I am thinking that I might take the time to just square this corner off just a little bit. I won't do it very much, but I think we can. Actually, why should we? We haven't squared any of the other corners off, so we could just leave this one as well. If I bring you forward a bit, that's about as there. I think that's as far as I want to go on that. Again, there's a slightly more of a natural look to the edge of the field right there. And then if I bring that bit across there, I haven't actually engaged the GPS for that bit. I just want to tidy up that little tiny pokey bit there. And that's done. This end of the field is all finished. That's looking good all the way down through. Slightly uneven along the edge of the field. I don't think it's going to be enough to cause us any problems. So now all I got to do is plough this. This is going to take a little while to do. It's not like it's going to be forever, but it is going to take a minute or two to get through this one. And with where that one's set, I actually want to start from this end. And I want to turn that plough over. That's going to go to there. And it's going to go to there, like that. And it's going to be turning the ground in that direction. So if I engage the plough there and I lower it down, and off we go. I'll probably just pick up and reverse back rather than constantly turning the plough over, because I think it's going to be a little bit faster. We haven't... at least this will be faster than doing the bit in the middle. When we were doing that bit in the middle, that ended up taking ages. That really did. That took absolutely ages to get that bit done. But this, I don't think this is going to be too bad. Especially as I can sort of engage the GPS on the end of it like that. And then we back up here. And I've done this before. No, I haven't. No, not me personally. I've seen this being done. When I was very young, riding in a tractor with my dad when he was doing it when I was only like 4 or 5. I do remember him doing this and picking the plough up and then reversing back up across the field and carrying on again. Or if it was a slightly bigger field, he would drive back up across the field. We only had small fields. We didn't have particularly big fields, so he didn't bother, like, he didn't have a reversible plough. He had a, it was only a one-side plough. It had 4 furrows. It was a 4-furrow plough, but it wasn't it was a non-reversible plough, so you didn't have, like, the extra bits on it, like, all along the top. You only had the bottom ones, like the Salford, but it wasn't a trailed one. It was a mounted one. So in order to plough, you either had to go down one side and up the other, or do it in strips, and then leave ditches and ridged furrows in the middle, that sort of thing, and then try and work that out with the cultivator when you were cultivating your field. And you could do that. That was entirely possible. Or you just did this, and you ploughed in one direction, and then you lifted out and you drove back down to the other end of the field. And that's what he did. He didn't like leaving the ridges and the furrows everywhere, so he wouldn't pick up and plough going in the opposite direction on half the field. Actually, I know. I think he may have done on some of them bigger fields that he had on the farm, but it was he didn't have a huge farm anyway, and the fields were never that big. So I think most of it he did like this. But there may have been 1 or 2 fields where he sort of like this one here, like literally like this field right here, and he would plough all the way down to the other end of the field and then plough all the way back on that side. So it was 1 ridge in the middle and then 2 furrows on the outside edges on both edges, and that's kind of how we did it, I think. Yeah, I all I remember though is this bit right here, is picking the plough up. That's the only memory I've got of ploughing, is picking the plough up and then reversing straight back across the fields and dropping the plough in again. And it was quicker to just do it that way than it was even to pick up, turn the tractor and drive up across the field and then drop it in again. It was quicker to just reverse across the field. So that gives you an idea of the size of it, because tractors don't go as fast backwards as they do forwards. You can get a reasonable turn of speed. now I've gone and said that, I'm going to get a load of comments about, well, my tractor can go just as fast backwards. Yes, I know there are plenty of tractors whose gearboxes allow you to go backwards just as much as you can go forwards. Right, where was I? Real life interrupted there for just a moment. Let's carry on. We're doing our ploughing. We are racing up and down the field here, ploughing industriously. I'm wondering about getting one of the tractors down here with a cultivator and setting that one going on the side there. But the speed that is going to be able to get over to what we're ploughing just here is going to be very quick. And we're not going to end up finishing the ploughing before they are working through the rest of the field. Are we? It's just not going to happen. We'll do a few more passes and then I'll go and get one of the tractors and we'll set them going. And that way they can at least make a start on doing the cultivating. I so love this. This is one of my favourite additions to the game. Is the shrubs that get ploughed under. You can't mow them. Mower won't take them out. But when you go over them with the plough, they get ploughed in. And that was a game changer for me. When the Estancia Lapacho map first came out and they added that bit in, that was an absolute game changer for me. It was just amazing. It's not a great thing. It's I believe it's done through an extra foliage layer, and it wasn't massive, but it just adds that extra little bit of slight realism into the game, and I absolutely love it. Quite a few people I know weren't that taken with it or thought that it could have been done differently, but me personally, it's one of the most satisfying parts about ploughing. I'm never that enthusiastic about ploughing up new fields, right? It's a fairly slow and tedious job. I know some people particularly like it, and it can be sort of a nice chillax sort of job that you can get on with, especially if you've got the GPS. Like, having the GPS here to help me out, it does certainly make life a lot easier. But what I particularly like about doing this job is being able to see the shrubs disappear under. That's one aspect of it that I do like. That right there. Seeing those disappear. And different flowers and weeds and stuff like that. Seeing them all disappear underneath the plough is quite cool. That right there, I think we're going to need to redo that. That seems like it might end up being a little bit too sharp. There is a couple of other bits like that as well that I haven't properly smoothed out that I think perhaps I should do. Alright, let's do it now. Rather than wondering if I'm going to need to, I might as well just accept that, yes, it probably should be done. So I'll switch over to there. I'll make that a little bit bigger like that. And there. That's all I need to do is just kind of do a bit of smoothing work like that. And then there's another little bit over here that needed to be smoothed as well. There's another ridge across there. That was the other bit that needed to be done. Now that's going to be a little bit more difficult just to tidy up, but I'm hoping I can still do it. So there we go. We've got that sorted. Got that sorted over there. I need to just very quickly, I'm going to see if I can do this without even bothering to put the GPS going. Can I tidy this bit up without bothering with the GPS? You know, if I use the plow properly, that would probably help. Over here is where we want to be to start with. I know I've got the lines from the GPS on there, but I'm going to ignore those. I'm just going to see what the plow is actually doing. So I'll bring that back a little bit there. And tidy that up. Down through here like this. I'm already going crooked on this. Look at this. This is terrible. This is why I'm no good at doing this job without the GPS. Although I am normally, I'm not bothering to try and keep it lined up. I could do better. I could do better if I wanted to do better. It's just at the moment I'm not particularly bothered about it, so I'm not trying to do better. Is that a believable excuse? I think it is. I think that's quite believable. And I think we've got it all there fairly neat and tidy, so I'm alright with that. And now I'm going to go up here, and this time I am going to try and just make sure I get that right. I want to bring you to there, and I'm using the front of the tractor to just line that up. And I think I did all right there. That's actually lined up straight. I actually did all right there. I managed to line that up and get it exactly where it should be. So you over here, yeah, I need to sort of turn that so I make sure I get all of it. That'll do. That's enough. That'll do on there. And then I can go back over this side and I can keep going with these lines. And then we've got one more little bit that we'll want to straighten up at the end of it. Does also mean, though, that I can't start cultivating quite as early as I wanted to because I got a great big piece missing over there. So I either need to go and do that a minute so that I can start cultivating, or we need to finish all the ploughing first. Just finish. You know, I suppose I don't have to. I can just have a tractor working a different angle. Alright, we'll do that. You've persuaded me. I can hear you saying, well, we should get going with it anyway, because I do have to do all of that cultivating. So, hang on, let me go back to you and at least just, like, disengage that a minute, so just in case it causes any trouble. And we will start you up, and we'll run you off down to the bottom. And we're going to just unhitch the seed drill near the edge of the field so that it's there ready. And we'll... Right, 25k is flat out for you. I'll unhitch the seed drill on the edge of the field, and then I'll run off and I'll grab the cultivator, and then I can set the cultivator going with this tractor. I'll only do it with one, and I get the other tractor. That one can start a little bit later. This one can stop right here. Actually, we will put the... I'll put the seed drill right here. That's what I was just wondering if I actually should just leave it here, or if... Because I'm going to have to go and take the seed... Not the seed drill. I'm going to have to take the cultivator back at some point. But we'll have then got it all planted. So we can, like, do that in between times. And it'll make life a little bit easier. So we're going to grab one of our cultivators that we've got here. All left neat and tidy in the shed. And we can go and put you straight out into the field. Just grab you like that. There. Get you unfolded as we go along. Like this. With the extra land that we've got, now, with all of this huge, great big extra piece of field on here, plus the huge, great big extra piece of field that we've got up there, and it's all planted and everything, and it's all ready to go up there as well, we're going to get a really, really, I was going to say a good yield, but, I mean, obviously, it's like the yield per acre is not going to be any difference, but, overall, we're going to get a really good crop. We got nice little land, so we're going to end up with a lot on here. So, yes, we are going to get a good yield off of the... Well, I'm hoping it's going to be good yield, high yield, and... See, I'm sort of thinking about, you know, you say it's going to be a good yield, but that's really is to... Like, when you say that, it refers to per acre rather than across the... Like, what you get with new land. It's just, we're going to get more crop. Essentially, what we're getting more money. That's what we got coming in. Is we got more money. Think anything else really matters at this point, does it? Right, you here. I'm going to leave you where you are, and we are going to carry on. We've got more work that we need to do. Let's go back up there and engage GPS on here. We've got a few, but I reckon it's going to be like 7 more passes. That would be my guess on here, because it's going through fairly quickly. I think we've relived enough glory days just for a moment. We're going to take a breather. We're going to have a little bite to eat. And then we can get back to it, nice and refreshed, and relive a few more glory days. There should be some names coming up right now that you can have a look at. It's names of people who are in the Great Book of Names, people who have supported this channel, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So if you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.